How was your rookie year in 2010?
My rookie year was a bit of fun. I was up and down. The first few events, I was kind of getting my bearings, and then kind of needed to get it going. You know, mid-year there was 2 comps to go before the cut-off, and I got a good result at J-Bay, and then went alright at Chopu after that. You know, I think J-Bay pretty much saved my life. It got me back up there. Yeah, this year I'm kind of looking to you know, get a bit more consistency, and now I've felt it out a little bit, and I hope that, yeah, definitely try to make my move on the top 10. That's what I'm aiming to do. Yeah, I hope there's a few more results to come this year.
And about those two sides of...
Well, I think all my mates call me Mello, but a few of the events I've done, I think it started with Tapper on the Gold Coast. He started calling me Iceman at the tag team events, and it's kind of stuck. I don't know why, it's a weird name, but I think it was from the Cura Teams Challenge. I got that nickname because I was the last person in, and I kind of had to win my heat for Lee Bar to win, and it worked out well. But yeah, I like to keep it more of a mellow kind of way of thinking, you know, and just cruise a bit. And it kind of works, you know, in heats and stuff. If you don't work yourself up too much, and you know, like, you don't stress out too much, it makes life a lot easier, and you make a lot more heats, and yeah, I guess you don't look so stupid out there.
Okay, strategy. How you surf your heat? 100% or just enough to get through?
I think you can't surf just to get through, you know. You got to give it your all, especially at the top. All those guys surf so good, and you know they're not giving it. You know, they're definitely giving it a nudge, and they're not just trying to get through. So you've got to pretty much, you can start off, you know, at the start of your heats, I guess, just getting I don't know, getting it going and stuff like that. But you really have to push it towards the end, definitely, to beat the top guys, you know, because you know they're definitely going to be pushing as hard as they can to make your heat.
How you preparation before an event or any particular comp, and let's just say, is it 1 hour? For 1 hour, 30 minutes, do you sort of psych up to music, or are you watching the waves, and do you watch video of a place prior to going there or anything like that?
Before an event or before heats and stuff like that, I like to get down there not too early before it all, or I get there probably an hour, 2 hours before, just watch what's going on, have a little surf, don't like try and overdo it, you know, and just try to get the feel of the place. I kind of don't mind rocking up a little bit late to events, because, or not late, just a few days before, because you know, it's exciting, you know, it's a new place where you're surfing, and you don't get too used to it, and you don't get bored with it or anything like that. I guess that's my approach. But yeah, before heats, I listen to a little bit of music, just keep calm and relaxed, and then yeah, psych up a little bit and have a good energy level before I go out there and do my best.
Okay, with your boards, do you have a basic size that you take on tour, or a thickness, how you change boards for particular locations and all that sort of thing?
Well, I have a standard board that I kind of work off. It's 6.0 by 18.25, 2.25, which is kind of a thick rail, but depending where I go, I'll go up and down with the basic model that we've got. And you can get it pretty similar, even if it is a little bit thinner and a bit of a lower rail. So yeah, it seems to work the best for me. And most spots until Hawaii or later on in the year, like Europe, can get pretty big. You're usually using your short boards anyway. Like last year, it was pretty solid at J-Bay and through Europe in France, and we were still all riding pretty short boards.
Tools, the product, how it works for you. Can you give it any sort of comparison to previous brands that you've used? Just as far as like durability and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. Tools is working really good with with me. I like it. The grips, we spent a lot of time on it, getting it right, and it's really worked out well. Like, I kind of have a specific thing that I like, and the squares and the arch bar as well. It works pretty well with a pretty like medium-sized kick. All the leg ropes and stuff work pretty well too. Even in the big stuff as well, you got the thicker cords that you can use, and I haven't had one come back and hit me yet because it's too stretchy.
What about breakages? Have you had leg ropes in the past that have broken easier than your current versions now?
Yeah, I've definitely had leggies that have stretched out and kind of lost, they end up being like 4 meters long. I haven't really had one break on me or stretch out too much so far. They're working well.
Is there any goals you want to achieve on tour this year, like both professionally and also in free surfing side of things as well?
Yeah, definitely. Surfing on the CT is good. It's healthy for your surfing. All the guys surf so good, and you just want to push yourself in the events to do well, and also in your free surfing as well, because you always want to better yourself out there, just because you've got to be learning the new tricks. You got to be doing everything like what's coming up. That's all the young guys are surfing so good now, and they're going to be coming through in the next few years. And if you want to stay there, you're going to have to be doing what they're doing or doing it better.
How was your year in 2010?
Yeah, my year in 2010 was it was a good fun year actually for me. I was pretty relaxed and just travelling quite a bit with my daughter Mika by myself last year. Obviously my husband Jace had to stay at home and work quite a bit. Financially it's a bit hard with the whole family to get overseas and enjoy it 100% like that. But so it was a little bit of work having Mika with me, but she loves it, and I really get a lot of energy from her when I'm out in heat, just knowing that she's on the beach. And had a couple of good results here and there, nothing super amazing, but yeah, it was a pretty alright year.
Just recapping on being a mum and competing as well, can you give us a bit of an example of what it's like in comparison to other competitors and that sort of thing?
Yeah, being a mum on tour, it's definitely different, I think, to other competitors on tour. It is really enjoyable for me though, knowing that I have this little person running around, being there for me, but she doesn't really know it. So that gives me a lot of motivation, and it's almost like a good distraction for me also. You see a lot of girls becoming really caught up in the contest area, and you're almost becoming over focused. So for me it's kind of good to have Mika around and distracting me from all the garbage that goes along with it.
Okay, moving on with the competitive stuff. How do you surf your heat? Are you sort of surfing 100% in every heat, or do you build throughout an event, or do you play it safe at the start, or is it...
I guess strategies for heat, for me, I kind of really now I kind of just think about it, it's 20-minute heat and you've just got to catch 2 good waves. It really comes down to, so definitely watch the conditions before, I think is probably the most important thing, and watch a couple of heats before yours to see where the best waves are coming through, and how you're getting the biggest scores. So yeah, just sort of sometimes take a quick wave at the start of the heat to get things moving, get your feet on the board, and then really just try and wait for those really good ones to rack up a few good scores.
How you prepare before a contest? Do you listen to music, or are you watching the waves, analysing video, all that sort of thing?
Yeah, preparing for a heat sort of depends on my situation with Mika again, whether I have someone to look after or whether I'm just going to quickly leave with someone before my heat. In that instance I'll sort of just play with her, and be watching at the same time, watching the waves. But usually I'll just sort of hang out with her and watch the waves. But if I do have time, I definitely come down usually about an hour beforehand, and sometimes listen to music and just stretch while I'm watching the waves. but usually my preparation really starts about 3 hours before my heat, getting Mika's backpack ready.
In regards to boards, do you have like a basic size or a constant size that you take on tour with you, and like what's the dimensions, and how do you change the board slightly to fit into the different locations?
Work pretty hard on boards with my husband Jason. Shapes Future People surfboards, and spent a lot of time shaping bay, defining rails and curves and rockers and everything. So at the moment I'm riding like 5.7.5, 5.8. Just fine. Like I used to ride quite bigger boards, and now I really feel like I can get it in the pocket, and just starting to get a bit looser and that kind of thing. So it's working really well, but still keeping a lot of thickness and width in the board. So yeah, it's working really good. And obviously when you get into the bigger stuff, go up a couple of inches, Hawaii and that kind of thing. But yeah, really loving the boards I'm riding at the moment.
Tools as a product, how's it working for you? And Tools as a product is working really well for me. I love all of their products, from the wax combs to the leashes, the tail pads, even like the hats. I strap one on my daughter like every day at the beach. Little black ones, you can tighten it at the back so it fits her head really good, and I've never had a sunburnt once wearing that hat. And me and my husband wear the ones in the surf quite a lot too. Saves my lip from sunburn like quite a bit. And yeah, just every single product I think definitely takes time out of the usual stuff. It makes everything a bit easier, and it's actually quite fun. Like my daughter grabs the wax scraper and wants to do it all the time. And the quality's amazing. Never had any breakages of leashes, and tail pads have never come off. So yeah, I love Tools accessories. Okay, can you give us a bit of a comparison to previous brands you used without mentioning the names?
Yeah.
Just as far as quality aspects and that sort of thing?
Sure. Yeah, in comparison to other products and accessories, Tools standards and qualities definitely above all the rest in my mind. I've had some like leashes where they break at the plugs, or the Velcro just gets really soft and tattery really quick, and sometimes you get tail pads like coming off a little bit on the edges. And it's just even like the ponchos and the board socks is such soft material, and I don't find that the wax sticks to it at all. And it's just really good quality.
Aspirations for 2011?
Yeah, aspirations for 2011. I'm really excited about this year. Starting off on the Gold Coast, as always, it's really exciting knowing that you get pumping waves at Snapper, and quite a few new girls on tour this year, so that's really exciting. Quite young, and it really makes the girls like us that have been on tour a few years really step it up, and gets us motivated too. So I've got some good boards ready, and pretty pumped and relaxed. So just want to get in the competition and have a good few heats.